All right, and we're live here at the Station of Decapitation with Thatcher Head. I'm Nasty Neal.
That would make me terrible, Troy.
I'm Treacherous Trista.
And we're joined by Sandy Johnson, Judith Myers of the original classic Halloween. It's very cool to have you here.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yes, a week before Halloween.
Yep.
Yes.
Do you have...
Very important week.
I would assume so. You're probably busy. Do you have like a lot of, well, this year is a little different than most years, but I assume you have some appearances of some sort, maybe virtual.
I do. I'm actually flying to Houston in the morning for a live event with fans at the Houston Horror Film Festival pop-up market all day Saturday. And then right in the middle of that, I'm a judge for the Misty Moon International Film Competition out of the UK. So I'm going to be running upstairs, doing that as a Zoom, then going back down to the table. And then a week, the actual Halloween weekend, I'm going to be at a drive-in in Pennsylvania for the showing of Halloween.
Oh, that's very cool. So how long was it after you did, because you said you're going to be there for Scream Halloween. How long was it after you did Halloween? Did you like see it again at the theater? I assume you saw it when it first comes out, but like, is it something you would watch over and over until, later when you're doing the appearances?
Oh, I got a yellow jacket in here, so if I start dodging.
There's always animals on the show.
Yeah, I know. Yellow jackets are not my favorite. They have a nasty sting.
No.
Anyway.
Trista's cats are a lot cuter.
Well, I was gone for like 40 years, and I know I never watched it in those 40 years. I've watched it many times in the last 2 years, but not so many before that.
Right. So how did you get the role originally?
I got the role because probably because I had been in Playboy, and they were looking for actresses who could do a nude scene. And so they called my agency, and I got sent out on the call where I interviewed, and then I got a call back a few days later saying that I had been cast as Judith.
So, what was the audition like for that?
The audition was at a pretty big table at one of the houses that they were actually using to shoot Halloween. I don't exactly remember which one, but I just know it was one of them. And the main people were there, I'm sure, John and Deborah and maybe a couple other people. And they had me read lines from several of the parts. And they had me do some screaming, which was kind of weird because it was a residential neighborhood in the middle of the day. So it was kind of weird. I just kept wondering, I wonder what the neighbors think. But so
is that something you practice?
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Oh, sorry, the interruption. Is that something you practice beforehand, your scream?
I doubt it. Because I really wasn't expecting them to have me scream.
Mm-hmm. Well, I assume that to be put on the spot to scream if you weren't expecting it has to be an odd experience.
Yeah, if it had been on a set or something, it was just weird that it was in a house in a neighborhood and I knew everybody could hear me.
Right. You must have pulled it off, though.
I guess so.
Trista, you have a question?
What was it like working with John Carpenter?
It was awesome. He was very serious and focused, but he was also nice. And he and Deborah Hill both were really pretty amazing working as a team. They kind of demonstrated everything, where they wanted us to be and the kind of movements they wanted and the kind of feel they wanted for the different scenes. So they were very helpful. And yeah, he was very clear and very nice and easy to work with.
What was Will like, who played the young Michael Myers in your with you?
He was just kind of a quiet little boy, kind of like he is as a grown up. He doesn't talk a lot. He's kind of quiet. He was cute, but of course I didn't see much of him. He was only there for just a few minutes, just for that one scene.
Yeah. Oh, what's that experience like when you meet him later on in life? You know, when he's a grown man.
It was interesting because I obviously hadn't seen him, and when I saw him last, he was a little boy, and now he's all grown up. So we had a good conversation. He was next to me at one of the cons, so we just talked and visited, and it was great. Apparently, it's the only role he ever had.
Oh, really?
He didn't do any acting after that, so I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Were you into horror movies at all at the time?
I loved horror movies as a kid. It was what my best friends and I spent most of our free time doing, was watching horror movies.
What were some of your favorites?
I really liked Psycho and The Shining and The Scream. And oh gosh, there's so many. I love all of Alfred Hitchcock's stuff. I like psychological thrillers. They're my favorite. Mm-hmm. So those are my faves.
Yeah. So, you don't know that Halloween's going to become, this big thing at the time. So when you're making it, what were your expectations of what was going to happen with the movie?
I wouldn't say they were particularly high. I didn't see the full script, and I actually didn't even see the adult Michael until we actually went to the premiere. So I really didn't know what to expect. It was just my one little scene that I had done, and so it was terrifying when I realized what the whole picture was.
Yeah.
It was good, but terrifying. And of course, it's a psychological one, so it was fit right into the ones that I love.
Yeah, because it's really not, people think of it as a slasher film, but there's really not much blood in the movie, if any blood.
No, and that's what I like about it because it's so scary without really having to, blow people up or anything.
Yeah, and of course the music adds so much to the feel of the movie.
Yeah, the music is tremendous and definitely makes a difference. The music itself is scary, even if nothing else is going on.
Mm-hmm. So what was that experience like, being at the premiere and watching it with an audience?
It was, you're talking about the original?
Yeah, the first
78?
Halloween. Yeah, when it first comes out.
That was not really a premiere per se. I mean, we were all there, but it was just a little theater. And I mean, it might have shown the day before opening or something, but it was fun. Of course, I didn't know anybody because, well, I had met Jamie Lee on the set, but most of the people I think were happy to have a day off when I did my scene because they'd been working so hard for so long that I think she and Will may have been the only ones there when I was filming. So it was fun to meet everybody and watch the film and then figure out what parts they all played. So yeah, it was fun.
Mm-hmm. Trista, you have a question?
You're very involved in the horror community. I'm wondering if you have any favorite conventions.
Wow. They've all been amazing. Of course, my first one will probably always be my favorite, I guess, just because it was such a new thing in my life, and that was Pasadena H40. So when I went there, I was totally unfamiliar with horror cons or anything like that. So I just walked in and had no idea what to expect. And it was just crazy. The enthusiasm and all the costumes and the whole thing was just, wow, this is just crazy. But I had the best time and I met so many nice people and I made friends. And then really they've all been great because I've met new people and then I have fans that come to see me at more than once. So it's fun seeing the ones I met before come again and the ones that have become friends on Facebook and Instagram. So the community's growing and the more people I get to know, yeah, I like them all. They're all fun.
Because I saw on your Facebook that that a fan sent a pumpkin to you that was carved like the pumpkin in Halloween or is painted. I don't know if it's a real pumpkin or what, but well, what are some of the some of the more memorable fan things? Sorry to interrupt you.
Some of the more memorable what?
Fan interactions or, gifts people are saying.
Oh, fan interactions. Well, let's see. There's a lady named Maggie Mader, who is a friend of Pam, who is the lady that made me the gift that I showed yesterday, which was all the candles with the clown mask. I mean, it's just fabulous. It's such a fabulous centerpiece that she sent me. I just love it. And then when I haven't met Pam yet, but I met Maggie might have been New Jersey. I met her at a couple of them actually, but she dressed up as Judith Myers. So we had a really good time with her in costume. And we just were attracted to each other right away. I mean, it was just fun. We just had a good time. And then there's another one, his name is Chris Baber. And he came to Maryland, I think, with his wife and daughter, and she was all dressed up, and they were just such a nice family that we ended up inviting them to the Myers House, North Carolina this summer to do my photo shoot. And the little girl, Paige, was my young Michael. And Chris was one of the adult Michaels. So that was just a blast. So yeah, so I just have so many fans. I love visiting with them on social media and then meeting up with them in person. So yeah, lots of special ones.
You had to have been aware that Halloween was, a big movie for over the years, but were you aware that, you had people who followed your character until you got online and started going to the conventions?
I had no idea that Halloween was a big deal because I was totally engaged with teaching and getting educated and doing other stuff. So I was just totally unengaged. So I had no idea. Never crossed my mind to even look it up. I just assumed it was just a small budget film and, went the way of small budget films. But whenever my current agent, Rick, found me and started telling me that Halloween was an iconic film and that there were all these people around the world who would love to meet me and talk to me. And I was just like, what? I mean, I was just totally blown away by all of it. And it took a while for me to realize that it was real and he was real. And there actually were people that I could go meet and visit with. And so, yeah, it was all crazy. I had no idea. I know that's hard for Halloween people to understand, but it just was outside my zone. That's the only way I can explain it.
Yeah. Since you've been going to the conventions, because fan films have become popular the last few years, has anyone asked you to reprise the role in a fan film at all?
Yes, actually several people has, but my agent prefers that I not do that because there could be some conflict with Blumhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So I have not been able to do that. Yeah, but I am going, I mean, I'm still hoping maybe Halloween Ends, you never know. But I'm also making, I'm in 2 horror films that are going to be coming up before too long, and hopefully some others as well.
Yeah, I saw that Creeps at the Gym, which is a hell of a name.
Yeah. Yeah, that one is will be shot in the UK. It's by Great Northern Productions. They did another film called Pumpkins that is on Amazon. It was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. And I actually have a pretty good role in it. So I'm pretty excited about that one. I have some aspects of it that I can kind of play with. So that's kind of fun. And then the other one is a Hungarian film that it won some awards, and the first prologue was out. And I don't know, it's Hungarian, so I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's VULPES, and then it's Lust for Revenge. And anyway, the prologue was excellent. I really liked it. So when he asked me if I wanted a cameo in the next part of it, I said, absolutely, it's really good.
Oh,
So I'll be actually shooting that virtually next month from here.
Do you keep up with current horror movies?
Do I keep up with who?
With current horror films? Do you watch any current horror movies or movies in general?
Not so much the current ones, because most of them are truly slashers. They're very gory. And that's not my favorite type. I'd rather spend time watching the old ones that aren't so gory.
Right. I understand. There's some you can find though that aren't too gory out there. We'll try to recommend some for you. Trista, you have another question? Yeah.
You mentioned you're a teacher. I'm wondering what you teach, and also if your students are familiar with your other career.
I taught for about 18 years. I taught a number of things. Many of the years were for special needs students. They were special needs. They weren't necessarily slow learners, just they needed more hands-on. They just learned differently. So I was a science teacher, so I did a lot of hands-on education with them, got them very involved with the processes. I also taught master's level college courses for environmental science. I have taught kindergarten. I have taught just about everybody.
Did you miss acting?
And as far as my students knowing, to my knowledge, they do not know.
Did you miss acting when you went into becoming a teacher?
Probably not, because I actually did a lot of acting as a teacher.
Okay.
Very animation. We did lots of skits, and I, got the kids involved in plays, anything that could help them understand things. So I used a lot of the same skills with the kids, and so that probably kind of tided me over.
Mm-hmm. Was there anything that led to you leaving acting at the time? Or was it just, this was something you wanted to do, become a teacher?
Yes, I lost both of my parents.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Fairly closely together. And I also got married to my first husband kind of in those 4 or 5 years. And I was just very depressed and wanted to just get away, basically. So we moved to Oregon, and it didn't last long. Within a couple of years, he decided he was too young to be married. So he went back to California, and I went to Texas to be with my sisters, since my family was no longer living alive in California. So I went back home and just got my life back together again. I found another husband that was much more serious. And so we're still together 35 years later. And that's when I started teaching.
What's he think of the conventions?
Oh, he loves them. Yeah, he said he was a little nervous in the beginning for me to go because he didn't know what to expect. And so he said, well, you can go, but I have to go with you. And I said, well, that's fine. So we went together, and he had as much fun as I did. And he probably has almost as many fans as I do, actually. Everybody's happy to see him as well that know him. So it's kind of fun. Yeah, he loves it. He will not. I left him home for one because my best friend who lives in Georgia wanted me to come to the con and stay with her in the room, and so we could have fun girlfriend stuff. And after I got back, he said, "You're never doing that again. I hated the whole time you were gone. I wanted to be there. I missed the con." So
yeah, you probably saw the
I don't think I'm
pictures
gonna get to
too,
do
and
that
he's getting jealous. Yeah.
yeah. Of course he's going with me this weekend and next weekend.
Oh, that's very cool. I think that's awesome that he enjoys it. Does he watch horror movies?
Yeah, he's been watching them with me.
That's very cool. Since you said you didn't know, Halloween was such a big deal until, fairly recently, did you ever watch any of the sequels?
I had not. I've watched several of them since, but I really probably didn't watch any horror movies the whole time I was teaching and away from all that. I very seldom had time to see a movie at all. My being a hands-on science teacher for a private school is even more than a full-time job. I usually left work about 8 or 9 at night and got there early in the morning to get everything set up. And yeah, it was a lot of work.
Yeah. When you saw the second one and you find out that Lori is now your sister, that must have been a surprise.
Yeah, I don't care for that. I don't know. I just found that weird.
Yeah. Well, they did away with it in the new one. She's no longer your sister. So
I prefer that.
All right. AJ here in the chat room, he says, have you ever met Rob Zombie's Judith, Hannah Hall, who played the Judith character in the Rob Zombie Halloween remake?
I have not.
That'd be weird. It'd be like
I'm
alternate
hoping
universe.
that at some con I'll actually have more time to visit with people. The problem is I'm usually so busy that there's no time to visit. I did get to visit with Felissa Rose. She was at Texas Frightmare, and we got to be friends and visit. And she will also be at Houston this weekend, and so we'll get a chance, I hope, again to visit. But normally I don't get to visit with anybody. It's kind of, except just the Halloween people, because we go to the photo ops together.
Yeah, and they're probably stationed together in the similar area. But
right.
In Texas, I've been to Frightmare. It's a really, really big convention, so there isn't much time to do anything, or even it's hard to walk around. There's so many people there. At least when you could have a lot of people.
And really, all the ones I've been to have been pretty busy.
Well, do you have time to see the area when you're there? I know a lot of times when the convention, you really just see the hotel.
Yeah, pretty much the hotel. I was trying, it seems like we took an extra day somewhere, but I don't know. I don't remember. Oh, I know what it was. I took an extra day in California because I have a really good friend that's like my second mom that lives in California. So I took an extra day and we went to see her. But as far as sightseeing, there's never been time because usually my husband has to be back to work on Monday.
Right. You have to at least get some barbecue when you're in Texas. So.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I live in Texas.
Oh, well, yeah. That's old hat. Yeah. Do you actually have a favorite? Do you have a favorite barbecue place in Texas?
I do. There's, I'm trying to think of the name of it. There's one down south. It's called Hammond's barbecue that I like a lot. There's another one in Stephenville that's called 8 something. It has to do with gambling, so I can't remember the rest of it. But it's, I know that it has 8. Say it again.
I don't know, maybe aces and eights. That's the saying, it's the dead man's hand. I don't know.
I don't know, it's 8 something. Anyway, those are the 2 best barbecues around here, but Texas is full of great barbecue.
I agree. Yeah, I'm a big fan of barbecue, so I always like to find out. I was always told that Dallas doesn't have the best barbecue, but I like it there.
Yeah, it might not. Dallas is not really typical Texas. It's much more of a melting pot than, say, Fort Worth or other areas, San Antonio. So I don't go to Dallas a lot. The people aren't very friendly there.
Okay. That's a weird thing about Texas, though. It's so big. You think, it takes like 4 hours to drive across it. So there's many different parts. It's not like a lot of states where it's all kind of the same thing. There's many different parts of Texas.
No, it's very different. We have the ocean, we have the mountains, we have
The desert.
kind of desert, we have hill country, we have oil country, we have swamps. We've got it all.
Yeah. So when you do these, are you looking forward to doing these movies? That has to be pretty fun to get back in acting.
I am. I'm actually taking private coaching once a week. So I've been working on monologues and different things. I uploaded an acting reel to a couple of sites, plus IMDb. So yeah, I am excited about it. It's fun.
Very good. What did your family think at the time when you did Halloween? In the 70s.
My mother was very excited. She was always my #1 fan. It didn't really matter what I was doing. She was always just a big fan of everything I did. So I was lucky. My father was very conservative. I don't think I told my father about it. And a couple of my sisters were very excited about it, and one of them was kind of mediocre. So it kind of varied throughout the family what they thought about it. Most of them were fans.
Yeah, that's cool. And I saw you're going to be at the judge at the Misty Moon International Film Festival. So a word of advice to people that are submitting movies, don't put a really gory one in. You'll get a higher grade here from.
Yeah.
That's very
yeah,
fun.
I do have a problem with those. I really prefer them not to be so gory.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't scare me. It just makes me nauseous.
Right. And your website is unicornsandyj.com. Where'd the unicorn come from?
Unicorn came from my agent. He had looked for me for about 8 years. And when he was talking to me, he said, you're my unicorn. And I said, why is that? And he said, because you're like the mythical creature that I always wanted to believe in, but I never knew. I figured I would never find you. And so he always called me his unicorn. So that's where that came from.
Well, that's very cute. I love that there's a story behind it. And you have a lot of cool stuff on there. People can get, if they don't get a chance to meet you at a convention, they can get autographs and photos and stuff from you on your website.
Yeah, I have, they can mail in things. They can I have about, I don't know, maybe 10 stock photos, but then I have many photos that they can special order, and I'll get them in for them and sign them. I have some pretty scarves that have a rhinestone skull on them. So yeah, I have things. Plus I have a lot of podcasts and interviews. So just, yeah, lots to do and look at on there.
Yeah. And I like the decals. You have stickers with the tombstone, which is a weird thing to say to someone. I like your tombstone with your name on it, but it's a cool little decal.
Yeah, I actually made those. I like to do sublimation stuff, and I found this special decal stuff on a roll that you can actually sublimate designs on. it's pretty expensive. So the decals are like $8 a piece because the stuff is expensive to buy, and I had to buy a lot of it.
Right.
But they came out really nicely.
Yeah, they're very cool. Trista, you have another question?
I really like the scarf you mentioned with the skull on your website. Is that something that you designed?
No, I just found one for myself. I bought it for myself, and it was so soft and just looked so nice that I thought other people might like it. So I just bought some more and put them up there.
Well, Trista might be a customer here soon. She liked it too. It's
They
gonna
do
be
look
colder.
nice, and they're very comfortable.
Uh-huh.
They're very cool.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Thank you.
So I mentioned the website. Where else can people find you, follow you, see what you're up to?
They can follow me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/TheRealSandyJohnson. And maybe it's just Real Sandy Johnson, may not be a the. And on Instagram, I'm Unicorn Sandy J.
Very good. Well, everyone should come around and say hi to you. And if you're at a convention, definitely go out and meet you. You seem like a very nice person.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, it was very nice to talk with you. I'm glad you joined us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. It was nice seeing all of you, and hope to see you at a con sometime.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We'll see. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good
Thank
night.
you so
All
much.
right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandy.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
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 If you guys want to stay real quick, I got something to give away before we wrap up the show, though. But Sandy, you don't have to stick around for this if you don't want to. But we have
All right. I just got to figure out how to get out of here.
All right.
Leave. There it is.
There's no escape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. So
She's
we're
so
getting.
cute.
She is. She's great.
Oh, yeah.
That was very
Yep.
nice. Yeah. They said in the chat, she's so. AJ says she's so laid back. She's awesome. It was very nice. All right. Let's see here. So a couple things I just want to mention. This Saturday is Severed Limbs #3. Our Watch Party Film Festival. 35 shorts have been submitted. Usually
35? Wow.
Yeah, usually someone will send some in right when I'm trying to go live, and it drives me crazy. But if I can do it,
Be prepared.
I'll throw them in there. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. So go to the Facebook website, and you can read all about them. There's some world premieres. Bloodhound will be the world premiere by Michael Epstein and Sophia Cassiola. It's gonna be very fun. And we're going to close out the show with the 20th anniversary screening of a documentary about, the name forgets me right now, but it's one of the original Chiller.
Oh, nice.
A 20-year-old documentary about Chiller, which is one of the original conventions. And it's got Ben Chapman in it, former guest here on the show, who played a creature from the Black Lagoon, and the original Creature from Black Lagoon. I guess the only creature from, well, there's sequels, but Forrest J. Ackerman's in it. Like, it's a lot of people, unfortunately passed away. So that's gonna be fun, and we're gonna close out the festival with that, since it's the 20th anniversary. So check that out. That'll be cool. Coming up a week from tonight, we're gonna have Alexandra Bayless. She told me I can call her Allie, and that's gonna have a special start time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. And it's going to be a live demonstration. And thanks, Trista, for setting this up. So it's going to be very fun.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm looking forward to this. That's going to be a good time. We're going to give away a prize here in a moment. But is there anything you guys want to say about Halloween coming up? We'll be back before Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I know Troy's got, I know it's the same time as the festival, but there is a live, normally I would never promote anything that's happening at the same time as Without Your Head, but we'll let it slide. I'm just kidding. So there's a live pumpkin carving thing going on.
Yeah, Ray Villafane, who one of like the world great carvers, and he's going to be running through, like, just doing like a free webinar with how to carve a pumpkin. So it should be fun. I think it starts like an hour before our festival. So
no, yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I have to set stuff up, or else I would do it.
yeah.
I've only carved one pumpkin in my life. You would think,
Ooh.
you know, I'm this horror guy. I probably would like. I've been carving pumpkins like I know it like the back of my hand.
Well, next week we'll show off our pumpkins, whatever
I've
we end up
carved 3
carving.
radishes and a pumpkin.
Oh, there you go. Well, I found out from one of his things that, like, his secret, well, one of his secrets, if you want to have the eyes have separation from the rest of the pumpkin, make the eyes out of potatoes. And so then they're really very white, where they contrast the rest of the pumpkin really well.
What
And
if
he's
I
done
use
that
a
with
what
teeth
if I use a
sometimes, too.
purple yam?
That would be an interesting eye. I like that.
I've
That
been
might be
eating
good with like a
purple yams, by the
cyclops
way.
or something.
Right. No, that is very
Yams
cool.
might be
I
too
like
wet,
that though.
though. Would they be?
I don't know. I'm just trying to be an ass, but I
Oh, okay.
I like the idea of having some stuff going on there. Are you a pumpkin carver, Trista? That's a weird question.
I mean, I think I've made attempts. I would not classify myself as a pumpkin carver.
You don't have to be an expert. I think as long
Yeah.
as you have fun. So we're
Just
gonna.
I
I
think
mean, I
any
enjoy-
jack-o'-lantern's a good thing.
Yeah.
So we have this from Dread. It is Nail in the Coffin, The Fall and the Rise of Vampiro. It's a box set. You can even hear it. There's stuff in there. I don't want to break it. There's nothing breakable. But there's the Blu-ray is in here. There's buttons, pins, whatever you call them. There's Vampiro bandana, stickers,
Vampiro
all
seemed
kinds
like
of
a really cool guy when you talked to him.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah.
And I love the documentary. It's really good. I would recommend it to people. You don't have to be a wrestling fan either. It's really a story about a father and his daughter, and how the kind of not rebuilding, but having a relationship after he was in wrestling for so long, and as a wrestler he's traveling around the world and didn't really was never home, and now his daughter is an adult and he's a recovering addict. He's very open about it, and then rebuilding their relationship. It's a really heartfelt, good documentary. So, everyone who helped spread the head, put all their names in here. We're gonna pick one out, and one of them has won this. This name here. Former guest on the show, Chauncey K. Robinson.
Oh,
Nice.
that's wonderful.
Very cool.
Excellent.
Very good. You won yourself Nail in the Coffin, The Fall and the Rise of Vampiro. Very awesome. So continue to help. You help the show. You like the show. Well, I assume you like the show if you're watching it. Maybe you hate watching the show. I don't know. But either way, help other people find it. Spread the head. Share it on your Facebook or retweet it, Instagram. Spray paint it on your wall at the grocery. No, don't do that. But put it on your MySpace or your Friendster, TikTok. I don't know. All these places. And let us know about it. Or else I have to know so I can put your name in here. And it helps the show. Helps us.
It
And you
can't
might win
hurt.
something.
Yep.
Yeah. We got a lot of movies to give away in the coming week, so it's going to be a good time.
Very nice.
All right. Anything else anyone wants to add before?
I got nothing, guys. I'm sorry.
Just vote. Wear your masks.
Very good. I'm
Stay
glad you
safe.
brought that
Carve
up.
a pumpkin.
Yep. The voting is we don't have much time. I mean, you can vote right now. Get your
Yep.
and look it up if you don't know where you can vote. There's a lot of drop, like in I live in a small town, and there's places you can just drop off your ballot, so you don't have to stay in a line if you don't want to, if you don't feel safe mailing it in. And thank a lot of our former guests who made videos for us about the importance of voting, and
Those
there's going to be a
have
couple
been great. I
more
love
popping
those.
up. So thanks, John Dugan. Just did one. I don't have it ready yet, but we'll have it up
Oh,
on
very nice.
on social media here probably tonight sometime. All right. Joe Bob Briggs is on tomorrow night. You guys can check that out.
Well, that should be a good time.
Yeah. Apparently he's not here tonight, but yeah, you can check that out. That'd be good. A lot of cool new interviews up on, because we do the show live Thursday, and we hope everyone comes here, enjoys it, interact with the chat room. Thanks everyone in the chat room right now. But there's a lot of other cool interviews up. We have Destination Fear, The Holzer Files, and Ghost Nation. All of those for Ghosttober from Travel Channel. The Deeper You Dig we did recently. Purgatory Road Cast and Crew, where Trista, I get to interview her. That was very cool. And that was very fun. All kinds of stuff.
You guys have been doing great stuff.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing all of those. Those are so much fun.
Very good. All right. Yeah, I just want to let everyone know. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff. And if you live in the UK, Purgatory Road is now released out there. So.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I think that's it. I think I covered all my notes.
You done good.
I always forget to plug things, but I remembered. All right. When I just make a face at the video camera, that's totally just dead air on the podcast version. So, to really enjoy the show, watch the YouTube version. Or maybe you enjoy it better not seeing me. That's probably
if you hate like eye rolls and things like that, then just listen to it, just the audio.
Right, yeah. Last night I had a really bad headache, and then I realized what it must be like to spend time with me.
Oh.
All right. Enough bad jokes. And I wanted to close out the show, something we haven't done for a while. So. Until next time, this is Nasty Neal.
This is Terrible Troy.
And I'm Treacherous Trista.
And this is Without
Your
Head.
Good night, everybody. Now I'll
That was awesome.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. Oh,
all right, good night.
My computer is frozen. I don't know if this is gonna.
Oh yeah, Neal's just like he's
and now I can't
still
stop.
Photo now.
Yeah, and it's not letting me stop the stream.
All right, you're gonna be doing this for weeks now.
All right, I think
We'll
we got it.
Oh, did you escape?
I ended the stream.